To order, and this is the meeting, the regular meeting of the CRTPO, March 15th, 2023. So at this point in time, I'd like to have any requested changes or any motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
So move, second.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All around. Wow, tough vote. So anyway, all right, so we're going to talk. There's nobody signed up for public comment tonight, so I'm going to drop over to Mr. Burke to tell us about the ethics awareness and conflict of interest reminder, and also a reminder to get that form into Susan. So go ahead.
In accordance with the State Government Ethics Act, it is the duty of every board member to avoid conflicts of interest. Does any board member have any known conflict of interest with respect to any of the matters coming before the board today? If so, please identify the conflict and refrain from any participation in the particular matter involved. And then just a quick update. Many of you this week have filed your statement of economic interest and real estate disclosure with the State Ethics Commission, but we're still only at 31% compliance. Again, the deadline is April 17th of this year. And I sent a reminder email last week. Again, Susan Singh with the State Ethics Commission is an excellent resource if you have any questions. And also if you're filing for a second or subsequent time, it's a lot easier. It should only take you a few minutes. So I'd encourage you all to do that ahead of time. I know it makes Susan's job easier if you have questions to do it in March as opposed to in April. That's when everyone contacts her.
Yeah, and she's pretty easy to get a hold of, answer questions along the way too. So if there's anything, I mean, please make it easier on all of us and go ahead and get online, get that done and get it out of the way so we can have the 100% compliance, because I think without it, we don't go too far. Exactly. So, all right. So we'll drop down to tonight's consent agenda since we adopted the agenda. So this is a formality. So motion to approve tonight's consent agenda as published. So move. Second. Second. All right. All in favor? Aye. Great. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to get down to the CRTPO discretionary funds project call again. We've visited this before. We had some dialogue on it before. I just want to make sure and clear that everybody understands what the call is tonight. Jennifer is going to come up and talk about it a little bit with us again. If there aren't any significant questions on it, we can address that. We have some support in the room for any last minute things. But I think that we all have to pay attention to this. Has been before us for a long time already. I don't really want to, unless there's criminal activity, I don't really want to delay this any longer for those who are waiting for their funds as well. So let's have some dialogue on that. Jennifer, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor Pappas. Jennifer Stafford, CRTPO. So I'm back with you today to ask for requested action to approve discretionary funds for the projects recommended for the 2022 project call and amend the 2020 to 2029 TIP to add funding to these new and existing projects. In addition, approve a resolution to endorse 4 CMAQ applications to NCDOT for $9.6 million. And that's just the resolution for CMAQ, again, is just part of a paper trail for them. So we ask for that every year. So just a reminder of the actions we have done so far. So the fall call opened mid last August, closed the end of October. The Project Oversight Committee met in December. They developed a recommended list. January 5th, we went to the TCC with information with that recommended list. January 5th, we came to the board with a recommended list. On the 26th, we returned to the Project Oversight Committee from the TCC and the board meetings. There was some discussions. CATS came to the Project Oversight Committee and requested to reduce their application amount, which ended up funding another bike ped project and made another project whole. We came back to TCC for request for action to recommend the project list to the board, and they all supported that. Then we returned a month ago to you all. You've just deferred the action to tonight so that CATS can respond on questions to their project. application. So tonight we're asking for the action. And I just wanted to remind you that we had a new funding source this year called the Carbon Reduction Program, and it was from the IIJA. These funds were made available to, or known to us, the end of July, shortly before the fall call opened. So we haven't developed or didn't develop a criteria for scoring these projects quite yet. So we're busy doing that at the POC level, and we'll be back to you all for that. The intent of the carbon reduction program is to do just that, to reduce pollution, reduce emissions. It's very similar to the CMAQ. There's calculations that can be done. There's no application that needs to go to NCDOT. These funds need to be authorized within 3 years. So we take that into consideration when we're looking at the projects and the type of funding that we use. So with that, I will open it up for questions and go from there.
Okay, we've been down this road a long time. It's been now a year, so I do want to make sure that we are all able to address and answer the questions. So we've got some air support here to help us do that. So I'm going to open it up to the floor right now really quick. If you have any questions to Jennifer, or I also have Brent Cagle here from CATS as well, if there's any last minute questions on it. So any questions for our first presenter here? Well, you guys are making it too easy for me tonight. That's good. We had some dialogue early on down the lobby, and there's a lot of information that's available to us. We have to, again, take responsibility in our roles to make sure that we ask those questions during this now almost a year period. And I want to make sure that we, address any of those last minute ones. So if there are no last minute questions on it, no questions that we haven't answered or covered before, then I'm going to look for the next step from you guys to make the motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, you got the other opposed? There we go, Rob.
Okay.
I'll let, hold your hands up on that one if you would, please, so Neil can get the count.
I have in opposition. Oh, there's a lot more.
Oh,
Opposition only, sorry.
Opposition.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, just Rob. Okay.
Okay, all right, very good. All right, thank you, everybody, appreciate that. We'll move down to item number 7. Mr. Cook, you are up. Fiscal year 24, the budget.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tonight's action is to approve the FY 2024 Unified Planning Work Program. And just wanted to note that this was brought to the Technical Coordinating Committee at its meeting earlier this month, and they unanimously recommended adoption. Just to quickly go through a brief listing of the process to get here tonight. We started off with a kickoff meeting in October. We held a major issues review with the Technical Coordinating Committee in November. Then we brought the first drafts to both the TCC and to the board in January. First draft review at also the February 1st Transportation Staff Meeting, an update at the Transportation Staff Meeting on the 22nd. We brought the draft to the TCC in February and also to you. So a long history. We presented this quite a bit to you over the past few months, but it is our budget. It's a lot of money, and we want to be as transparent as possible with where that money is going. So we just wanted to provide a few updates. Some of this might be a little bit old information, but it's still relatively fresh. So I wanted to remind you, we are going to be carrying over or requesting to carry over $90,000 and $90,055 for the Metrolina regional model. We finalized the carryover of funds for Connect Beyond in the amount of $336,037. Also a carryover for the Silver Line Rail Trail. This is at the amount of $53,750. And then this last item, the route restoration grant, $750,000. That is new information. This is a discretionary grant awarded to CATS. And all funds, if you remember from previous discussions about a transit-oriented development grant, any funds allocated for transportation planning purposes has to be included in the MPO's Unified Planning Work Program, even if the MPO staff is not going to be working on the project. And that's largely the case here with this grant. Because it's for transportation planning purposes, it has to be included in the UPWP. So in terms of the Section 5303 funds, these, we've talked about this before. This hasn't changed. That's the allocation we have for FY23, just slightly over $1 million. And then getting into the allocations for the planning funds and the Surface Transportation Block Grant Direct Attribution Funds. These are the allocations. These are unchanged from what you saw at the February meeting. The task codes are how we divide up the work program or the budget, and the activities really haven't changed either. They're fairly consistent. And that is because much of what we do as an organization is fairly consistent year in and year out. It's a cycle of events we go through: TIP development, long-range plan development, the development of the work program each year. Most of what we do is on some sort of cycle or another. And so continuing on with this, Title VI, public participation, statewide and extra regional planning, and then finally management and operations. These have all stayed the same since the February meeting. There were 5 planning projects that were endorsed by the Project Oversight Committee, and you actually just took action on those just a few minutes ago. So these are all included in the UPWP as well, or will be included once you adopt it for the next fiscal year. And these are unchanged since from previous meetings. These are some carryover projects from projects that were funded in previous fiscal years, but were not completed during that time. So we have all these projects. I think we talked about all these at the February meeting. Some of these are relatively small amounts for the Jane Sowers Road interchange study that's sponsored by Statesville. And then the Mooresville Vision Zero Action Plan. Those are kind of insurance policies, so to speak, just in case they aren't able to complete the work by the end of the fiscal year. We want to have some money available in FY24, so there aren't any issues with providing invoices, those sorts of things. So this has all been unchanged since the February meeting. These are some of our key initiatives, or these are the key initiatives for fiscal year 24. Really the same as last year, except for the Metropolitan Transportation Plan there at the bottom, because we will be starting work on updating the current plan that we're working with now, the 2050 Metropolitan Transportation Plan. So it will be a significant part of our work next year. So just wanted to go through and talk about the total amount programmed in each task code. So for data planning and support, just slightly over $1 million. This is a combination of the Section 5303 money that I referred to earlier, and the planning funds and the STBGDA funds, the Surface Transportation Block Grant Fund. So a little over $1 million for a host of activities, a lot of which are associated with the Metrolina regional model, but also our traffic count program, basic GIS activities, and so forth. These are unchanged since February as well. Under data planning and support, substantial amount of money, but there are a lot of activities that are funded under this particular task code. So it's just shy of $2 million. This is where we work on the Metropolitan Transportation Plan, the Comprehensive Transportation Plan, performance-based planning. This is where we'll be implementing Beyond 77, Connect Beyond, and also the work on our strategic plan. So a lot goes into this particular category, hence the rather large number. This task code is devoted to the UPWP development itself, a relatively modest amount, but the work is relatively modest at the same time. We spend a lot of time on this, but it's not to the degree that we spend on the Metropolitan Transportation Plan. And then on this, for the TIP process, total amount programmed is somewhat sizable. But it'll fund all our activities associated with the prioritization process and TIP development in general, but also for the Project Oversight Committee and the discretionary program that Jennifer runs. On the regulatory side and statewide and extra regional planning, you see relatively modest amounts. Under regulatory, probably the lion's share of that money will go to public participation. In fact, the lion's share will go to public participation. And then on statewide and extra regional planning, those are our activities with our neighbors in the region, the other MPOs and RPOs, but also with the North Carolina Association of MPOs and the national organization AMPA. And then under management and operations, sizable amount there. A lot of that, those funds will go to the work on the MOU reassessment that the MOU subcommittee's work is underway. That started last month. And then any other changes associated with the changes to the 2020 urban area. Grants management takes up a sizable amount of our time, and then just overall administration, which is making this event happen tonight. So again, the action requested is to approve the fiscal year 2024 Unified Planning Work.
Somebody.
Happy to answer any questions.
All right, any questions for our presenter tonight? I know all you guys do budgets in your municipalities and areas, and it's a lot of work. So got to appreciate it, a lot of work that the staff has done to get there. So questions for Mr. Cook?
Motion to approve the UPWP.
Second.
All right, we have a first and a second owner. You get that?
Becker and Higdon.
There you go. All right. All in favor? Opposed? 100%.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Appreciate that. All right, next up, we're going to go to Travis. Travis, you're up. 2433. Public comment period plan. So that's a long time. I was just looking at 24 to 33. That's a long period of time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hey, everyone, Travis Johnson, thank you very much for having me here tonight. Tonight, I'm going to request that you approve the opening of a public comment period on the draft 2024-2033 TIP for the 2050 Metropolitan Transportation Plan amendments and the air quality conformity determination. Public comment period is necessary for the TIP adoption to happen this June. For requesting the comment period, again, we're going to from March 16th to April 14th. Amendments and modifications to the 2050 Metropolitan Transportation Plan are needed to make sure that the MTP and the TIP remain consistent. So that's why you'll see the 2050 TIP amendments there. So 3 reasons for the amendments to the 2050 NTP include if it's a project not currently included in the plan, if schedules change, which means we have to shift the horizon year. And again, horizon year means when it's open to the public, or if the details of the plan project have changed, such as project limits, phases, or mileage. We also have to approve the air quality conformity determination because of the Clean Air Act. And again, CRTPO staff has reviewed draft TIP project schedules with the TCC, with this board, and participated with interagency consultation meetings as well to make sure everyone has the latest project list. So again, we received the initial received the revised list in August. We completed projects swaps by October 30th. NCDOT released the draft 2033-24 STIP in December. Now we're presenting to you and the TCC here in March. We're opening the 20-day public comment period. We will then come back with information report on those public comments at the May meeting, and then we'll come back for an adoption in June. So with that, any questions?
Let me go back on that. You said, did you say 20-day?
30-day.
30-day.
Yep.
Just want to be sure it wasn't a misprint. All right. Any questions on this? This is obviously kind of a, I don't want to say no brainer, but Rusty, go ahead.
Quick, how do you push this out, Travis?
So we're publish this on our website. We're going to do a press release. We're posting this in the Mecklenburg Times, and it's going to be in La Noticia. And so we're also going to ask that you tell your public information officers to share this information. Please post this on your social media, put it on your website, just to help us get the word out as much as possible. So that's our big ask of you, is to help spread the word, but we'll be doing it through the website, press release, 2 newspaper sources, and then through our social media as well.
Great, thank you.
And we also, in the town of Waxhaw, we've been using the links to their information to put it back out to our people on our websites as well. So don't be afraid to grab that link from Travis and put it out there. We just added it to our site. Rob.
Travis, we'll be sending a link out to every board member so they can share it with their PIOs.
Yeah, I believe the public information, or I just forgot the name of it. Press release. There we go. Media release. Yes, that will include the links that you need to then share. So that should have everything in there. And then we'll also be on the social media as well. So if you follow us, please follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and then also repost for us.
Not on Instagram.
We are not in
I'm
Instagram.
kidding.
TMI. All right, anybody else, any questions for our presenter? Okay, so we're just looking for something simple tonight to start it. I guess it will start tomorrow then, won't it?
Yep.
Good. All right. So can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nobody. All right. Thanks, Travis. I
Thank you all
appreciate
very
that.
much. I didn't get a chance to answer.
Oh, did you not? Did I miss
Oh,
you?
We would have been yes anyway, but I
Oh.
just went by really fast. I was caught dozing, I think.
We're quick. We're a reactive board here, so this is good. Sorry about that. So everything good over there, just to make sure, right? All right. Now we're going to go to the proposed transit work group. So Jarrell, you're up. Welcome, and just speak right into, maybe you might want to move that to you a little bit more.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jarrell Leonard with CRTPO. I'm the transit planner. And I'm going to present to you the transit providers work group proposal. So the action request is for the board to formally establish a transit work group. And the purpose of this transit providers work group would be to integrate public transportation in the 3-county area of Mecklenburg, Iredell, and Union County and their transit operators, and also assist in the federally mandated processes that CRTPO are tasked to do. And the difference between this is the Connect Beyond is it is a 12-county study in both North and South Carolina, and is a regional transit study that looks at the future of transit connectability and is led by Centralina. So in 2019, there was a staffing and resources study that called for integration of MPO efforts with transit planning. And they hired me in the transit planner position to facilitate and also collaborate amongst the transit providers, as well as CDOT, also known as Charlotte Department of Transportation, and CRTPO, this entity that you all represent, and also to improve coordination and formulate tracking federal formula grants, as well as the other federal grant funding that CRTPO is responsible to be a part of. In summer 2021, there was interviews conducted with the county-based public transportation providers, and it was looking at the main topics were looking at better frequency and more coordinated efforts. And the main recommendations from that interviews was the formation of a transit providers work group for coordination, collaboration, and possibly sharing of resources amongst all the operators in the 3-county area. So they recommended the work group at the county public transportation level that this group meet quarterly. In summer 2022, CRTPO followed up with the TEI meeting with the TEI leadership about the possibility of forming a transit work group by converting the previous TEI transit education initiative into the basis of the work group's formation. And we presented that to the CRTPO board chair and vice chair about the possibility of forming a work group. And we drafted a survey in the fall of 2022 to gauge interest to affirm that. And in fall 2022, we surveyed all of the public transportation operators and agencies within the 3-county area. And overall, the results showed that it was desirable to form a work group. The proposed work group means would be integrating CRTPO as well as the transit providers' planning responsibilities and fostering and collaborating amongst all of those said public transportation operators. Primary task would be the 5303, which was mentioned in the UPWP a few minutes ago, which is a federal funding program. Also, the FTA Section 5307 MOU, which was drafted and signed during the summer of 2021, and all required programming activities such as the annual report that we present to you all in September, that would be comprised in this work group. Performance-based planning, which includes public transportation asset management, as well as their safety plan requirements mandated by FTA, and also coordination with CRTPO on other things such as the UPWP, which I just mentioned a moment ago, the TIP, which was just presented to you a moment ago, Metropolitan Transportation Plan, which is mandated by the federal government vis-a-vis FHWA, and the state mandated Comprehensive Transportation Plan would all be within auspices of this work group's responsibility to include public transportation operators. As you can see on this map, these are the 3 counties and the jurisdictions that would be inside of that, the CRTPO planning area, and these public transportation operators. So it's no confusion with Connect Beyond, which is 12 counties and 2 states. And the counties of Iredell, Mecklenburg, and Union. Work group membership would be relevant staff from the following: CATS, Union County Transportation, Mecklenburg County Transportation, Iredell County, AKA ICATS Transit System, Central Liner Regional Council, NCDOT Integrated Mobility Division, also known as IMD, and ex officio membership with relevant public transportation planning entities as needed, such as CDOT. Are there any questions?
Any questions? I think I had a comment. Tony, did you have a comment?
Yep, thank you. I'm am interested in coordination between transit agencies and have had conversations in connection with both Connect Beyond and Beyond 77, which a lot of the folks in this room know about. And so I'm interested in this group and their ability to help facilitate seamless connectivity in the future between transit agencies, all, you know, as many as we can in this region. And I'm interested in helping facilitate that.
Oh,
That's great. Craig?
sir.
To whom will this group report?
So this work group would be an auxiliary that will follow the following. It will go to TCC, and anything that goes to TCC will come to you all.
And is there a timeline on it? When did it start, finish?
Well, it would be an ongoing process, but
Okay.
the timeline would be as soon as possible. As soon as if you give us the grace of allowing the formation, we'll get on it.
And the funding to support this group comes from where?
Oh, there's not any additional funding needed. It's part of the processes that go into CRTPO.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? If you can back up one slide that you had the participants in there.
No problem.
So I just wanted to highlight this. So those agencies that are up there right now, start thinking about those people in your organization that you might want to have involved in this. Do a little hand picking there to help facilitate the work that Terrell and his group are going to take on. So I just wanted to make that comment. So if you got one, Brad?
Just a quick one. This is all new to me, generally transit, and I suffer from acronym phobia and 5809 code. I don't understand. Could you just help me understand? I'll vote for it. I think it's good to coordinate, but what is an inefficiency or a lack of coordination issue now? Just a simple, what's the problem? Is there an example of a problem that this is supposed to fix?
So
you can articulate that.
Oh, it's not a problem. So one of the things that came out with the 2019 staff and resources study, and it was mentioned by FHWA as well as FTA, there was not coordination amongst the public transportation operators for 5303, which is included and federally mandated every year that you all adopt with UPWP. And we were told that we needed to actually include public transportation operators in the composition of the annual budget with the UPWP. So one of the things that we started doing was the call for projects, which, as you probably see in the previous presentation, showed that each entity had to submit an application. And we're making sure that they collaborate and coordinate as follows every year now.
So that's a funding example.
Yes, sir.
Is there an operational component to this or not so much?
No, sir.
Okay.
That's
what I was
something
confused about. So
totally different.
systems
Yes.
operating. Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Not a problem.
All right. Any other questions for our presenter? Again, start thinking about who you might want to have collaborate on that board with them and all. So at this point, we're looking for action from us.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Formal action.
Very good.
needs to be
So the
held.
motion will be the request to formally establish the transit work group. Can I have a motion?
Moved.
Second. One over there. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, very good. Thank you, Terrell. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Good luck on that whole
Thank you.
program. Just keep working at it. Jennifer, you are back up. Raise grant application update. You make you run in this room now.
I won't be so nervous on this one. So I do want to give you an update, sorry. So I'm going to start with last year, 2022, we applied for a Vision Zero grant through RAISE. And Bob Cook and I attended a debriefing from US DOT on ways that we could improve our submittal going forward. And so in front of you are just some notes of how we scored on certain sections. They noted that there was a very good first submittal attempt, but to resubmit. So that's exactly what we did. So the major lessons learned from 2022 was there wasn't enough data. And so we worked very hard at gathering more data this time around. We also checked in that 100% federal fund request was okay. And since 2022 notice of funding opportunity was released, they've stressed over and over again that 100% federal funds is okay to ask for, and there's no deduction on that. Last year, there was 936 applications requesting $13 billion. 166 projects were selected. Very competitive. I'm sure some of you have reached out and applied for RAISE grants as well. So that's kind of what we're up against. The available funding for last year was $2.2 billion for both capital and planning projects. The projects were, as you can see, there's quite a few capital projects, and then the planning projects, the urban and rural, they try to split dollar-wise 50-50. They do look at awards and where they're taking place throughout the country. So this year, 2023, like I said, we came back and we really focused our application on needing financial assistance to study why crashes continue in persistent poverty, historically disadvantaged in rural communities. This is a trend that we've seen for years. And we believe that if we could have some extra money to go out there and do studies, develop a high injury network, do some marketing for our planning area, it would be greatly appreciated and helpful. So this was just a little snippet of the cover of the application. We called it a cross-jurisdictional transportation safety plan. And then again, specifically targeting on these three areas. And I will say that even though the crashes are happening in these three areas, these are the three areas we needed to focus on to get the 100% federally funded. So it's a win-win. It's what they're trying to get us to spend money on. And it's also proven that this is where we need to spend money on. So 60% of the crashes in our area are in these three areas of concern, which is pretty powerful. The MPO submitting the application, I believe, is pretty powerful too. So we have some access to you all, and if we are selected and we reach out, we can start really working with you all on getting the high injury network done, getting the word out, that type of thing. And again, it's a 100% federal funded request, so we won't be coming back to you asking for any type of match. So we like that. For the safety plan, we would look at both Vision Zero and FHWA's safe system approach. They very much either overlap or complement each other. So hopefully we'll get there. Over 255,000 residents in the CRTPO planning area reside in neighborhoods classified as areas of persistent poverty. That's a lot of people. Over 370,000 are in areas of historically disadvantaged communities. And about 50%, 55% of our land area is in rural areas. So here's some more stats. And like I said, we really did put a lot more data into it, and it tells a story. So 60% of the crashes, as I just said, 16.6% of crashes involving pedestrian or cyclist were either severe or fatal. That's a huge number. 7.6 severe fatal crashes involve heavy trucks. No surprise, the majority of crashes in the rural areas were with wildlife. 21% of fatal crashes in areas of concern occurred in dark lit areas, which if people have driven around here, especially in the rain at night, it is very hard to see. So hopefully we get this and we can make some changes with that alone. 45% of fatal crashes are in areas of concern took place at intersections. So some of the designs need to be looked at and reworked. So hopefully we have this, we can get this grant. So this is a map of course, our planning area. The green is the rural, the orange is the persistent poverty, and then the hash mark is the historically disadvantaged areas. The application itself is titled as rural. So the reason why we did that is because the city of Charlotte has a great Vision Zero action plan. They've been awarded money. You can see, I mean, I don't want to discount the amount of areas of poverty or disadvantaged areas, but they're working on that. They've gotten a Safe Streets for All grant. So we will really focus on the rural areas and other areas outside of the city limits. Here are the nighttime crashes, and this is pretty hard to read from a distance. And so all of these are on public roads. They're not on private roads or in parking lots. So you can see the conditions for crashes are ripe at night. So we have received at this point 22 letters of support from you all, and I thank everybody who's submitted letters. It is not too late to do that. We have a template. Hopefully it isn't too hard to fill out. You basically put your town or city's name, sign it, and then it goes directly to raise grants. We are also reaching out to our congressmen, and we have some other lobbyists working in behind the scenes. So if you haven't written, again, we would appreciate any levels of support. There haven't been huge numbers of MPOs coming for planning grants of this size, and I don't know if this might even be the largest planning study taking place at NCDOT level. I'm kind of looking at Brett, it's a $5 million request. That's a huge planning study. And I think we needed to make a movement in our area. City of Charlotte's working hard, and I think they're a great model for us to move out. There's some towns that are already working on a Vision Zero action plan. That's awesome. And we will help come in and help support that. So if Matthews, if you, I know it's at some point you've talked about doing that. If you go on and do that, and some of these areas are crossed over, we'll take that high injury network, combine them all together and see how we can help you. And if some of yours in Matthews actually is a good one to talk about, some of the rural poverty or historically advantaged areas, maybe not so much in your area, but we should get some standards done that maybe you can tap into as well. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Certainly a lot of information, actually revealing information on that. I'm surprised on some of the numbers and where you would think everything would be more in town, close in. So any questions for our presenter, comments? If you can, I'm sorry, John.
Yeah, I just have a comment. I think staff has done the heavy lifting. The least we can do is write a letter. So, you know, I
I
mean,
was going to say the same thing. I appreciate that. Yeah, let's make sure that we support our staff, and you know, it just takes a little bit of time. It was a template letter, so my staff filled it out for me and I signed it. So it's really not that difficult, but yeah, let's make sure we support that. James.
What are you studying besides the police or sheriff's department reports on these crashes?
So it's a lot of that. The information was coming from NCDOT Traffic Safety Unit, as well as we got some from ITRI. That's really the bulk of it, and that's what City of Charlotte does too, is they get it from the traffic reports. It's just the most scientific, I guess you'd say. I don't know.
And are they charging you for that?
No.
Much easier to support that way, isn't it? So that's great. All right, any other questions for our presenter tonight? All right, Seeing none, hearing none. Jennifer, thank you very much. We're going to flip over to Mr. Burke. Upcoming agenda items. You're on.
Thank you. So the April 19th board agenda is looking much lighter than our last couple of agendas, which is probably a good thing for everybody. As of right now, we only have an update on the Connect Beyond Advancing the Plan Committee, and then we're checking with NCDOT about any critical tip amendments that would need to be acted on in April. And what we do following a board meeting is we poll all of your TCC members and ask if there's any agenda items that they would like to have on the April meeting. So I'm saying that we don't have much right now. There's maybe a chance we could cancel, but I do want to just make sure that we've given every opportunity. I would hate to cancel a meeting and find out we need to take action on something. So just wanted to let everyone know that. Just a couple of quick reminders. Obviously, you all approved the start of the public comment period for the 2024-2033 tip. As Travis stated, that media release should go out tomorrow morning. I will go ahead and email the CRTPO board members, delegates and alternates to have your public information officers or other staff distribute that. We will be coming back during the May meeting for a summary of all the public comments we received. That public comment period ends on April 14th. And then again, action will be requested to adopt the transportation improvement program at the June meeting. And that's an important action. As you all know, MPOs are required to adopt a transportation improvement program every 2 years, and adopting that in conjunction with the Board of Transportation adopting its STIP ensures that our federal funds can continue to be authorized to projects. So we're in the adoption phase right now. It may seem bureaucratic, but it's a really important process. So we just need to make sure it keeps moving forward. And then the last announcement is we will be holding our street cleanup event on Friday, March 31st from 9 to 11. In case of bad weather, the makeup date will be Friday, April 21st from 9 to 11. We'll be meeting again at the public library on 4429 South Boulevard in Charlotte. We're looking for some additional volunteers. So if you all or members of your staff would like to join us, it's an important event. We have a lot of fun when we do it. So hopefully we have some good weather. And if you are interested in participating, please email Judy Dellert or Augustine Rodriguez for more information. And that's all I have.
All right, very good. Thank you, Neil. Appreciate that. So we'll drop down to the board member comments. I mean, just to kind of open that a little bit if there are any more. I think this board has been working really well together, even having sidebar conversations about almost every topic that we have. So I want to say from my standpoint, I appreciate that. I do get a few calls and we have some collaboration. I want to make sure that everybody understands that the staff, although we don't want to suck up all of their time all the time, but they're available to us all the time. They provide great air support for all of us. So if there's at any time, any questions before we come to a vote or any meeting, feel free to reach out. That's what they're here for, to support us so we can support them. So just want to make sure everybody is clear on that, and we'll try not to suck up all you guys' time. So appreciate that. For the good of the group, any comments around the table? All right, with that, seems simple enough. I'm going to look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're out of here. Big surprise. All right. Thank you, everybody. It's good to see everybody.